This is such a beautiful world. Just hope that nothing will happen to it. Oh, fuck! Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation. Well, this is what happens when an idiot tries to play Minecraft hardcore mode. But then, why do I even play Minecraft hardcore mode in the first place? For that, we have to go back in time. We go to June of 2019. Back then, PewDiePie would upload the first video of his Minecraft survival series. And when he started to get invested into Minecraft, I wanted to get into the game myself again. Long story short, I had a great time coming back into the game again. I was simultaneously watching his videos and was learning about new things each and every time when he uploaded a new episode. I was becoming such a big fan of his series. I even ventured out with a horse and a dog myself like he did. By the way, I was 20 at the time. And then, out of nothing, don't know the reason why I did it, but I started a hardcore world. I wasn't really planning on doing special things, I just started it as a joke to see if I can survive a night in hardcore. So I just generated that world. By the way, I don't actually have recordings from around that time, only screenshots and the save file of the world itself. Also, I'm not gonna use in-game timestamps like in, for example, Luke the Notable's videos. I'm gonna use real-life timestamps. Because, after all, this took me 2 years. And this makes it way easier for me. But anyway. Immediately after I spawned, I tried to get enough resources to build myself a house and to not starve to death while I'm mining for iron. The first goal was to get a full set of iron armor, a sword and a shield. As soon as I got all the materials necessary to survive as long as possible out there, I grabbed my sword, ready to face the demons of the night. With the clear thought in my mind that I actually gonna die. And with that, I jumped into the night. When I was done, when I fought through all the 10 minutes of the night and I survived it, I was like, this wasn't going as I expected it to go. Just one creeper would have been enough to end it. However, that was basically everything I did in that world on that day. So it rested for 3 weeks. Until PewDiePie came along with another video of his Minecraft survival series, episode 31, in which he raided an ant city. And I was like, whoa, what the f***? The end looks completely new now, and there's an item with which you can fly in survival? Oh my god, I have to go get that elytra thing. I was fully planning on doing that, but then another special video got recommended to me from Luke the Notable, 100 Days Hardcore Minecraft. After I watched that video, I was like, what if the first time I ever beat the Ender Dragon would be in hardcore? Then I went back to my world again, with a goal to reach, to beat the Ender Dragon. First thing I did was making it safe for me to play, because I knew when I die once it's over. So Everything I did after that was making all of my front yard completely flat. So building a giant dirt layer all over the place, then building a wall around it, and lighting everything up on the inside. This took some time, but when I finally completed it, I just started to get everything for enchanted gear. So I started breeding cows, started to mine for some diamonds, got myself complete diamond armor and fully enchanted it. I didn't know much about enchanting around that time, but I would sooner or later regret running around with that armor and feeling safe. I even got myself some villagers, and somehow, I didn't know how around that time, but they just breathed like crazy. I mean, just like that, I had a villager farm producing, I don't know, giant amounts of villagers. And I would also regret building it later on, because it not only produced villagers, but also a ton of iron golems. I even knew the risk around that time. I just ignored it. Anyway, when I found myself finally confident enough to go out and beat the Ender Dragon, I brewed myself some feather falling potions and ventured out. Found the stronghold and went into the end to beat the dragon. And I did it! I beat the Ender Dragon and got myself an elytra. I was so happy. It was the best feeling I've ever had in this game. And then when I came home, I kind of celebrated by just making some screenshots from my world, because I was so proud of it. Doing all of this without dying once. I have never done anything like that before. So, after I did that, I went back to my main survival world and wanted to do the same thing there. Beating the Ender Dragon and get myself an elytra. After I did it, and I came home with 2 elytras in my pocket, it kind of felt unfulfilling. How can I describe it? Anything I would do in that world would feel boring. I now entered a stage from which I can never recover of. I just wanted to go back in my hardcore world because I was so much more proud of it. Playing a world with 1 life, doing just a tiny little thing, would feel so much more achieving than doing something in a world in which you have died 30 times already. It wouldn't do anything if you die another 30 times. And so, I left that world behind. And I would never return to it again. I then was back in my hardcore world. It was kind of good to be back. This was also the point in which I realized I would never leave hardcore mode again. By the way, what would a perfectly sane person do when they want to keep playing in an hardcore world? That's right, jumping in lava. For some reason, I just wanted to test out my armor. And then I was like, whoa, I don't take any damage at all. I have to be... But my small brain couldn't calculate around that time that with an armor like that, I'm basically protected from fire, but not from anything else. So yeah, my world was finally taking shape. I even ventured out a few hundred blocks and built myself a mountain base. I even tried to collect every single armor piece that there was in the game. And then I died. I was one-hitted by an iron golem. With this armor, yeah, I was kind of shocked, but I actually kind of expected it. However, I wasn't sad because I just died. I was happy because the only thing I wanted to do in that world is beating the Ender Dragon. And that's what I did. So in my eyes, it was a full success. Even though I died to an iron golem with one hit. And it kind of still triggers me till that day. After that, I looked at my world for a bit, at the things that I have done. And then I left it. And I also wouldn't play Minecraft again. Until the new 1.15 update dropped. Buzzy Bees. And I would once again return to Minecraft with another goal in my mind. To get every single advancement there is in the game. And also bring my adventure to the outside world. And that's the point where I also started recording my Minecraft gameplay. So welcome to the beginning of Season 1. It started out like any other Minecraft world before, with a click of a button. Oh! Guten Tag! It's me, the editor. I quickly wanted to say a huge thanks to you for coming this far into the video. There is going a lot of effort into editing and recording these videos, so I would highly appreciate it if you would subscribe. You can help me reach my dream of getting one of these bad boys with my content. 100,000 subscribers is a huge milestone, and I literally can't do it without you. So, with that being said, let's go back to this idiot and look what he's up to. Up, up and away! Up, up and away! Oh man, this loading screen sure took long. And it definitely wasn't edited or something. So, day 1. The first thing I always do before punching a tree is searching around the area if I find something interesting. So, I punch my way up to the trees and surprisingly, not much. After gathering some wood and making this abomination. Let's get this over with. Oh, what a relief. Anyway, after obtaining a Steinspitzhacke, I crafted myself a Steinschwert. I tried to get some things like sweet berries, some steaks, and wool. After obtaining all my basic survival supplies, I crafted myself a full stone tool set. By the way, yeah, that's exactly how you craft a stone axe. Why do you ask? And gathering some wood, I went down underground. Fast forward, day 4. After mining for 2 days, I finally got a decent amount of materials, including enough iron to craft myself full iron armor. And with that, I can finally escape the dark depths and explore the surrounding area. Oh, look, a village. Hehehe, time to spread humiliation and pain and suffering. Oh, you. Never again. You hear me? Never again. I will once and for all get rid of you. All of you. I'm gonna get my revenge today. So get ready for this. Ah! I didn't even touch the game again for almost 4 weeks. But I wasn't satisfied with the decision of just quitting Minecraft and my dream. I knew if I want to keep enjoying my life, I would have to do this. So I gathered all my energy and went back to it. So yeah, it was either that or I was just waiting for my new microphone to arrive. It lays almost 2 years in the past, don't judge me. So on 26th of January 2020, I made my second attempt of Hardcore Season 1. And let me tell you, I loved it from the start. Oh. Wow. Surrounded by the ocean. Well, you guys know the drill. We punched some wood and... oh no.
Oh sh**. Here we go again.
And now we can collect resources for real.
Wow.
So, I got more stones, crafted myself a full stone tool set, got some more wood, and just like that, it was nighttime. So, I went down into my mining hole and shut the entrance. And with that, the first mining adventure in this world starts. I dug a stairway down until I was at Y level 10. And then I started strip mining. After a few minutes of resource collecting, I went back up to the surface to see what is up there. Aber hey, eine Kuh? Oh, Zuckerrohr. Ein Schwein und ein Schaf. So passive mobs do spawn on this small island. That's good, because I then knew I just had to wait until 2 of each kind spawn so we can breed them. So what I'm gonna do while I'm waiting? Collect some wool for a bed and go fishing. Noch. And just like that, it was nighttime again. I felt relatively safe on my island, and that's why I didn't immediately went to sleep. And that's also the reason why this happened. Ich hasse dich. Aber danke. Was? Wow! Alter! Geil! I couldn't believe my own eyes. An ocean monument right next to the spawn island. I then did what every reasonable human being would do. Craft a bed and immediately go to sleep, because just one creeper could take it all from me. My next move was then to build some farmland, light up spawn island, and head back down into the mines again. And guess what I found? Redstone. And also this strange blue stuff. Yeah! I cannot tell that I have been more excited for anything from that point on in my entire life. Anyway, it was a vein of 5, and I spare you guys from the inappropriate sounds that I have made while mining these diamonds, because these are not family friendly. As I said, I got 5 diamonds, and I planned on using them for a pickaxe and an enchanting table. But I would not craft them on that day, because all I did for the rest of the day was just getting wheat, breed animals, and die. No. I proceeded to light up the rest of the island. And I came back 2 days later. I remember that night. It was a few days after my first night shift. Good times. Anyway, because I couldn't sleep, I decided to play Minecraft. And after lighting up various spots on my spawn island, breeding more animals, and decapitate more fish with an iron sword, I went to explore the surrounding ocean. And I had a pretty interesting encounter with a trident zombie. Scheiße! Oh, by the way, he dropped nothing. Okay. Then I continued my search and I found a huge chunk of land. And on it is a village. Whoa! And in it I recruited the first soldiers for the unholy crusade of conquering this world. But otherwise nothing worth mentioning except the villagers themselves. So I went back to my island with my 2 new recruits and then proceeded to explore the ocean a little bit more until I had to take off for work. And then I found it. The safest biome in the whole game. Nee! Was? No. Was? Was? Yeah. I then kidnapped a cow to use its body fluids to feed on them whenever I need to. And after imagining that, I shut down my PC and went to work. Oh boy. Here we are. Okay, 8 hours of work starting now. Okay, I'm taking a break.
Approximately 10 hours later.
I continued that day by mining for a bit, then crafting 2 items that we definitely need in the future, and expand my farm for a bit. And oh boy, I must have been really tired. I mean seriously, if I would ever need an image that describes insomnia, I would use this. So yeah, I had to get to sleep after that.
Day 3.
I finally started construction of my house. And I planned on building it into the mountain. Ah, looks lovely. But seriously? Is that everything that I managed to build in 2 hours? Wow. This must have been the most productive I've ever been in Minecraft.
Day 4.
My next goal was to get Fortune 3 in my time at pickaxe, and for that I needed an enchanting room, for which I need bookshelves. So I started planting sugarcane and building an ugly cobblestone platform. It's definitely not the most beautiful thing, but it will do for now. And whilst I was breeding the cows and waiting for my sugarcane to grow, I continued construction of my house. I even made a place where I wanted to display all the armor pieces, like I did in my last hardcore world. I definitely could have done more in almost 4.5 hours, but then I got distracted from finding a huge cave system underneath my spawn. I shouldn't have done this with only iron armor, but I still managed to survive. However, on the next day, it was time for me to shine in that shiny armor. So I finally harvested that sugarcane and set some cows free from their miserable existence with ocean view, made these goddamn bookshelves, and Efficiency 4, Fortune 3. First try. Yes! Yeah! A quick mining session later, and oh, look at it. Isn't it beautiful? I then had the bright idea of testing my armor in combat, which could be considered stupid, but I still managed to survive and return to my 2 cats, Stupsi and Mushi. So, almost 2 months after that, I haven't really done anything in my world except expanding my house and enchant something from time to time when I have the levels.
Hey,
However, there's a reason why I haven't really played for such a long time. It's because I was thinking, where do I want to go with this series? What do I really want to do, except getting all advancements? So, let me tell you the real story, why I am still playing hardcore mode. Somewhere around the time of August of 2019, one video got recommended to me. My 5 years of Minecraft hardcore montage from a YouTuber called Filsa. I watched the video and, not gonna lie, I first wasn't believing it. However, I soon found out that it is true. I was blown away from the stuff that this guy has done in hardcore mode. I became obsessed with his content. I even started watching him on Twitch, and that's a lot for a guy who never watched Twitch in his entire life. So he and everything he did became the biggest inspiration to make a world just as unique as this one. And it's the one thing that inspires me till this day. So, again, the reason why I haven't really played Minecraft in almost 2 months is because I was thinking, what do I want to do with this world and which kind of project I want to build. And then, one day, I had an idea of a project bigger than anything I've ever built before. I immediately ran back to my computer and started recording. So, before moving on, let me give you a quick tour of what I do have done in 2 months. I constructed a kitchen, a small pond right next to the entrance, a library, a forge, and I quickly got some villagers to give me books like mending.
Yes!
All of which are things that kind of sound like I have done a lot. But that's only because I actually have done a lot of things. I just have to skip the time, cause I still have a lot of recordings left to edit. Okay, back to Minecraft. I started the recording right next to the obsidian frame for my nether portal, cause I planned on building some kind of nether tree on my island. However, I haven't had any wood, so I just used planks for the time being. I constructed until I ran out of planks as well. And then for some reason, I stopped recording and started building an underground XP farm, of which I have no footage building it. But you know what I do have? Footage of me using it. For hours on end. After I was confident enough into the enchantments of my armor, I went into the nether. Whew. The nether is scary. So after building a small stone shack so I can safely go in and out of my portal, I tried to kill some endermen. And I found a fortress right around the corner.
Oh sh!
And after an epic battle with the Blaze, I returned to my base and continued to record even more of this. But it was worth it though, because after multiple days of intense grinding, I finally had everything to beat the dragon. So I packed my stuff and I was on my way. I was on the destination rather quickly, cause I never even really had to leave the boat. The eye has guided me into a swamp biome right next to a village. After a bit of searching, I also found it rather quickly.
Oh my god!
After mining my way down and finding an unexpected surprise.
What? What the fuck?
Oh look, the portal room. After filling up the portal and setting my respawn point in the portal room, I checked if I have everything I need one last time. Okay, potions of slow falling, building blocks, some water buckets in case I aggro enderman, and then I can do this. A pumpkin so I don't aggro enderman at all. some food, some gapples, an e-chest. Yep, pretty much set to go. So let's drink that potion before we hop in, and then we hop in. Hey there. So, me fighting the dragon with a pumpkin head on is not exactly the best footage. That's why I'm just placing random videos of my dogs here in the corner. Enjoy. Ah. Phew. Yes! So I've just beaten the Ender Dragon. But that wasn't enough. After sitting through all of the end credits, I got the rest of my stuff and went even deeper into the end. And it didn't took long until I found something. I went straight for the End City ship and the loot what's inside of it. After a bit of End City raiding, I was ready to fly. After raiding a few more End Cities, I returned back home with 4 elytras in my pocket. Nice. I then completed my armor collection and even added an additional diamond armor to upgrade it to netherite later on when the update comes out. I then ran down to my buddy to tell him the news. And yes, I have a diamond baby zombie that naturally spawned in my, let's call it, Wurstfabrik, just sitting there. To be honest, the only reason why I haven't told about him yet is because I totally forgot about it. So yeah, now you know. After that, my plan was simple. Beating the Ender Dragon 19 more times. And for that I needed the resources. So I quickly collected them. But I haven't recorded it. But don't worry. It was going a little something like this. And they dropped this cool stuff that we need for the end crystals. And after collecting and smelting some sand, I was ready to go. Okay, let's go. So, this is the last dragon. I'm just trying to collect as much dragon breath as I possibly could. Okay, I'm done. Woo! Done so! After that, I flew home and relaxed for 3 days. And when I came back, I started construction of a temporary Enderman farm in the void. And I finished it 2 days later. And it was working flawlessly. My next plan was then to collect some shulker boxes and then start my first ever big project. Everything in that world was going so surprisingly well. Until this happened. Oh.
It's all over, but the crying, and nobody's crying but me. Friends all over know I'm trying to forget about how much I care for you.
I couldn't believe it. Everything I've worked for, gone. The world that I knew for almost 3 months, in which I have played a total of 105 hours. And I could never return to it again. Well, that's the charm about hardcore mode, isn't it? Ah, well, it sucked that it was gone, but I didn't give up, and I returned on the next day and started a new season. Wait. Go back? There we go, perfect. So, I can't move on to the next season without analyzing my death first. So sit back and listen, cause this will be on your final exam. So, I was trying to get down to get the final 2 shulkers on the entrance. Notice my first mistake? I'm on the ground and I don't wear a pumpkin head. So, progressing with the video. And there. That's when it happened. You can't even really see it, but in the moment in which I killed the shulker and the hitbox disappeared, I directly looked at 3 Endermen. After I got hit by the shulker ball, this sounds weird, I went back inside, which was my next mistake, but this was before I knew what was coming at me. Oh. Okay, so pressing pause there was the best reaction, cause I then just had to chill and think about my current situation. I then would have realized that the reason why I take so much damage is because I still have my elytra equipped, and that a possible solution for this could be something like eating a gapple, then switching to my chest plate as quickly as possible, and then either fighting them off or dig myself out of there and run. Instead, I continued to panic and only thought about one solution, digging myself out of there. But as you already have seen, that didn't work. Then I continued to panic, I got punched into a corner, and then, basically, my fate was sealed. I died on day 333, which, I kid you not, was the same day in which I died in the previous season. And... oh my god. I just noticed something. Okay, back to the start of season 2. Okay, where was I? Oh, right. As I said, I came back on the next day after I died in season 1 and tried to start season 2. But I'm not gonna tell you about this world because I died within a few in-game days. I cried about it like a little bitch for 3 whole months. But after these 3 months, I came back, more determined than ever, with the perfect master plan of how to not die. So anyway, my plan was simple. starting the world in version 1.14.2, which was the last version that supported God Armor. And if you don't know what God Armor is, I'm gonna explain. Now, imagine the best armor that you could ever get. And now add all the other protection enchantments to it. So yeah, that was my goal. And also building a raid farm, because my last run was totemless, and I wanted to change that. Okay, and with all that said, let's get started with Season 2. I spawned right next to a village, and after relieving the villagers from all their valuables, I temporarily moved into a small villager house. In fact, the smallest I found. In it, I dug a hole underground and started mining. And just 2 in-game days later, I already had full iron armor. Then I did some more exploring, found a second village, and looted some more treasure chests. An IRL day later, I did nothing but cows, wheat, and sugarcane. 2 weeks later, I finally came back to build a house. But whilst building it, I got distracted from hearing an unusual high amount of zombies underneath the village. Then I dug straight down in one of the houses and...
Oh my god!
And thus, the age of intense grinding began. I immediately started building a monster spawner XP farm. By the way, a link for every single farm design in this video will be linked in the video description down below. After I finished it, and after a short trip to the Nether to make entering and leaving a little more safe for me, I started farming levels. A lot of them. I was trying to get Fortune 3 on the diamond pickaxe, that I crafted from diamonds that I haven't recorded myself getting. And I also haven't recorded myself how I got my full diamond armor and showing how I enchanted it. I'm just making a cut here and reveal all of it. By the way, do you see this helmet? This is why I'm playing in 1.14.2. So you know, like in the current versions, it isn't possible to combine 2 different protection enchantments to one item. Like you see it here. In older versions of the game this still works. After enchanting all my armor, weaponry and tools, I started building a raid farm. And I finished it just an IRL day later. Then I was searching for a pillager outpost to get the bad omen effect to activate the farm. And look there, it worked perfectly. And yes, I've only built it for 1 totem.
Yes! Yes!
Fully equipped, I was ready for the Nether. It was only a short trip though, with my looting 3 sword. After a few more in-game days of preparation, I was ready for the end. For the 3rd time. And whilst he is doing his thing, some more dog videos for you. Enjoy. So after beating the dragon and collecting some building blocks, I tried to get to the portal to the outer islands. I passed through just fine.
Woo! Oh.
Then I started to search for an end city. I was bridging over to the next island. And on the end of the second island, I was thinking something like, yeah, I can skip that. I still remember thinking in this moment, shit. It's not gonna hit the surface of the island. But it's okay. It's just gonna hit the void and nothing's gonna happen to me. I'm gonna be just fine.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
I'm never using any pearls again. I hate this. I hate this. Oh my god.
Yeah, I know, pretty stupid, right? Directly afterwards, I tested some things and how I could have prevented this. But let's be honest, I could have prevented this completely. Nonetheless, Season 2 was over. So what did I do after that, you ask? Well, of course, I started again. On the same day, not even an hour after I died in Season 2. Let's just say, my mood was at an all-time low that day.
No. I can't do this.
Even though I haven't really played that much in any of my hardcore worlds. But you have to note how fragile my self-confidence is. So yeah, then I ended the recording and did nothing for a while. And with a while, I mean a whole day. Because then I was back, more fired up than ever. And this time, this wouldn't end in a tragedy.